I have to admit something to you. I'm actually really enjoying doing these afternoon. I don't know what she's doing. I'm really enjoying these afternoon videos. I find the light's actually not too bad. She's very distracting back there. She keeps jumping up and down. Anyway, today we are here to talk about another Zoeva palette. Now, over the past few months, I have talked about quite a few Zoeva palettes, and by now you know my opinions that they're really great shadows. I thought it'd be really cute to have her in the back just sleeping because that's what she usually does beside me, and I thought I'd lift her up onto the table, but so apologies if this is way too distracting. I'll see what she does. I might move her on a little bit later. Today we're talking about the Nude Spectrum palette. If you click right here, there is a link to go see the Warm Spectrum palette, and I've also reviewed a whole bunch of the 10-pan palettes, so the Rose Golden, the On Taupe, and the Cocoa Blend. And along with the Warm Spectrum palette, the Nude Spectrum palette has some of those design features which I have a bit of a love and hate relationship with. It has that lovely smooth, soft, rubberized feeling which makes it look and feel a lot more expensive than it is. But the downside is that it does have a lot of fingerprints all over it. So the Nude Spectrum palette has 15 beautiful shades inside. There is no mirror, and that's the same with all Zoeva palettes. And you can tell that this one's been quite well loved. And this one, at least for my skin, contains a whole bunch of nudes on this side and then some lovely deeper tones on this side. Now, my skin colour is not everybody's skin colour, so what's fantastic about this is that even though these are the nudes for me, you can definitely say that these could be the nudes for women with darker skin tones. So in that case, you can have some nudes, some deeper shades here, and then some highlighting shades here. As with all the other Zoeva palettes, the shadows are incredibly soft. From the lovely matte shades to the shimmers and the satin shades. Now, I purchased this palette from Beauty Bay, but this palette, just like all the other ones, are available from Sephora in store and also Zoeva online. I'm going to go ahead and swatch some of these so you can see what they're like. There's no primer on my hand at all. So I'll start off with these two mattes just to show you what the mattes are like. Nice and smooth. Now, this shadow here is the only shadow I'm wearing at all today. I tried using a technique called the Rebel Eyes technique, which I saw on Makeup Geek's YouTube channel, and I saw Marlena talking about just using one shadow at different intensities all on the eyelid. I'm going to link that down below so you can see what I'm talking about. But even with a makeup brush, these pick up some really lovely pigment. Can you see? Now, I'm not going to lie, these are quite powdery, and I feel like that is probably their only downfall. But in terms of quality for price, I feel like these are better than something like a Morphe palette. In terms of the satins, they have the same feeling as a matte, just with that little bit of sheen. And of course, the shimmers are to die for. I feel like this is an essential palette for every brown-eyed girl. It gives you that beautiful range of browns and nudes to play with to make your brown eyes pop, as well as very popular sort of bronzy and gold shades there to put on the lid. The shadows are incredibly blendable, incredibly easy to work with, and at this price, they're incredible value for money. Now, if you saw my video for the Jaclyn Hill collaboration, the first one, which I will link just here, you'll note that my video contained the discontinued eyeshadow palette, and in that review, I showed you some dupes for that palette, and those dupes came from this palette here. So this was definitely one of the dupes. The gold was not quite a dupe, but it was quite similar. This beautiful bronzy shade also was included. And then there are a whole bunch of other nice warm nude shades for you to play with. And if you have a look at it next to the Warm Spectrum palette, there's obviously a lot of similarities there, but this one doesn't have those pops of colour that the other one does. This one does, however, contain all those beautiful mid-brown shades and light nude shades. I think the true test of a beautiful eyeshadow is having a look at the black. Is this black really black? Let's have a look. So just a light swatch there, plenty of pigment, and how does that look? It looks pretty good to me, actually. Let's try that with a little bit of primer. And down the bottom, I've just put a little bit of the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer, and on the top there's no primer. And you can see there's a slight difference. It does look a little smoother, but the intensity is mostly the same. So what do you think of this one? Are we onto a winner? I think we are. You know my opinion, as I've said before, I think these are great quality. This is not sponsored, these were not even gifted to me. If this palette was missing anything in particular, I think it might be missing a light shimmery shade and perhaps a really, really sparkly kind of foiled shade. Although these do come close. I'm going to go ahead and swatch just a few more for you to get a real feel of this palette, and then we'll finish up. So there are some of the darker to mid-tones. So these are done with primer, these are without primer. So what do you think? I think the shimmers really are the winner. Shimmers are the winners. I think the shimmers are really the winners in this palette. I feel like I don't really need to go into too depth with this one because I have, of course, looked at the other one, which is pretty similar in terms of quality, and I have looked at the normal 10 pan palettes. So I'd intended to film this a long time ago, and back then when I was filming these palettes, I was doing just the point of view, but I did decide just to hop on this afternoon and show you this in person, I suppose you could say, so you can see my derp faces as I swatch, and also see that misbehaving critter. As a side note, this one apologizes for being so annoying before. Thank you so much for coming and spending a little bit of time with us. We would love for you to subscribe, and she would really love you to give her a thumbs up. How could you not say yes to this little creature? She wants you to subscribe, but she is very, very comfortable at the moment. She's purring very loudly. So we're gonna go and have a little bit of a snap and a cuddle, and I will hope to see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Bye.